You drank a snake oil salesman's drink only for it to make you actually immortal in the Old West. Now 300 years later you see that same salesman sitting at the bar in the cold northernmost point of Canada, well, the northernmost point that still had some people in it. I nursed the beer I'd ordered an hour ago. The bartender didn't bother me, the two other patrons spoke in soft tones about logging, and I waited for the sun to go down so I could start the long hike back south. It was a little game I played, doing all the dumb shit that a person couldn't do just to say that I did. Skydiving without a parachute? Swimming across the Atlantic? Up close and personal inspections of an active volcano? Done, and done twice. What can I say? I like Hawaii. Even now after all these years I was still doing the same old tap dance on the mortal, or immortal, coil. And this latest challenge was walking from the northernmost bar in Canada to the southernmost bar back in Mexico, walking exclusively during the worst temperatures they had to offer. The door to the bar opened, blowing in snow and ice wind, and a man I didn't expect to recognize stopped just shy of the bar. He saw me and blanched, his skin going paler than it had been when I'd first met him 300 years earlier. Sorkin, I said, using the name he'd given me when he'd pitched his miracle cure elixirs, guaranteed to help one find gold in the panhandled rivers. I'd never found gold, not in 300 years, though to my credit I stopped trying the moment I realized I'd stopped aging. Bill, Sorkin said, using the long-dead name I'd buried with that first life. Sorkin looked as though he were fit to run back out in the cold, so I kicked the stool beside me out for him to sit. His beer's on me, I said to the bartender. Who nodded, mute as he poured. It's been a while, I said, casually as I could. I don't know whether I should kill you or kiss you, truth be told. Neither, please, Sorkin said, face scrunched in distaste. Murder is messy business, and while I didn't expect to see you ever again, I'm not the sentimental sort. I nodded, while internally I was screaming questions. I didn't know snake oil salesmen used their own supply, I said. Just when times are tough, Sorkin said, and before you ask, I didn't know at the time. Didn't know about the immortality? The bartender, if he was listening, didn't say a word as he passed Sorkin his beer. Didn't know anything I sold actually worked, Sorkin admitted. Whatever snake I got those vials from. Hoo boy, they did something, didn't they? Certainly something, I said. Are there more? More like us? Sorkin asked, then shook his head. No idea, I sold a lot of oil back then. I considered smashing my glass across his face. Immortality came with quick healing, but pain still hurt in the end. After all, if there were nerves to injure they'd connect back to the brain one way or another. Instead I took another sip. What are you doing up north? I asked, awful long way from people out here. Sorkin smiled and opened his jacket, revealing 6 small glass jars strapped inside of his coat. Been a lot of things, he said, but I was born to be a salesman. And there's a lot more than just these samples. I could choke him to death, at least once, just wrap my hands around his throat and squeeze until he stopped breathing. Until he stopped thrashing. I'd gone that way once, it was almost peaceful until the blood started pumping in the brain again. Some things never change, I said. Any of those help you find gold?